The rain soaks through my black dress as I watch them lower an empty casket into the ground. My sister Nancy stands at the edge, dabbing her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief that used to be mine. Her performance is flawless. The grieving sister, the last remaining daughter, the sole heir to everything our mother left behind. I dig my fingernails into my palms until they break skin. The pain helps me stay silent, helps me resist the urge to scream that I'm right here, that I'm not dead, that my own sister orchestrated this entire charade. We gather here today to remember Kendra. The priest's words fade into the steady drumbeat of rain. My funeral is smaller than I expected. Just family, a handful of colleagues, my best friend Ruby sobbing quietly in the back row. I wonder if Nancy limited the guest list, or if this is really all the people who care that I'm gone. The mud squelches under my boots as I shift my weight. From behind this massive oak tree, I have a perfect view of the proceedings without risking detection. My new dark hair helps. Nancy would never look twice at a brunette. To her, I'll always be the blonde baby sister she needs to control. And now Nancy would like to say a few words about her beloved sister. My stomach churns as Nancy approaches the podium, her Louboutins sinking slightly into the wet grass. She's wearing our mother's pearls. Of course she is. Kendra was more than my sister. She was my best friend, my confidant, my partner in all things. Nancy's voice breaks perfectly on the word friend. Losing her so suddenly has left a void that can never be filled, but I know she would want us to celebrate her life, not mourn her death. I almost admire her commitment to the lie. Almost. But then I remember finding the forged documents, discovering how she'd systematically stripped away my identity, my assets, my very existence, all to claim our mother's estate for herself. The service ends and the mourners disperse, hurrying through the rain to their cars. Nancy lingers, accepting condolences with graceful nods. Ruby tries to approach her, but Nancy waves her away with a practiced look of grief-stricken exhaustion. I wait until the cemetery is empty before emerging from my hiding spot. The fresh dirt around my grave is already turning to mud. The headstone is simple granite, engraved with my name and the dates of my supposed life. 32 years reduced to a dash between numbers. My phone buzzes. A text from Olivia, our family lawyer. Meeting tomorrow. Found something in your mother's effects. Important. I trace my fingers over the wet stone, feeling the carved letters of my name. Nancy thinks she's won, thinks she's finally gotten rid of the sister who always questioned her, who saw through her manipulations. She has no idea that our mother left one final surprise. Back in my car, a beaten-up Honda that's nothing like my former BMW, I pull out the letter that arrived 3 days before my death. The envelope is worn now, the paper soft from countless readings. My mother's elegant handwriting spans the page, the last words she wrote before cancer took her. My dearest Kendra, if you're reading this, then things have happened exactly as I feared they would. The familiar words blur as tears mix with raindrops on my cheeks. I've memorized every line, every revelation, every horrible truth about our family, about Nancy, about why our mother changed her will at the last minute. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a news alert. Nancy's smiling face fills the screen. Local philanthropist Nancy Emerson announces engagement, dedicates charitable foundation in sister's memory. I close the article and start the car, my hands steady on the wheel despite the rage burning in my chest. Let her think she's won. Let her plan her perfect wedding, spend my money, wear our mother's jewels. She doesn't know about the letter. Doesn't know what our mother discovered in those final months. Doesn't know that her carefully constructed house of lies is built on shifting sand. I pull onto the highway as thunder rolls overhead. In my rearview mirror, my headstone disappears into the gathering darkness. It's fitting, really. The sister Nancy knew is dead. But I'm very much alive, and I'm done playing the baby sister she can push around. Tomorrow I start taking everything back. And this time, I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for the truth our mother died protecting. The basement of Ruby's lake house smells like mildew and old secrets. I've been hiding here for 6 days, sleeping on a musty futon, and jumping at every creak from above. Ruby thinks I'm crazy. Maybe I am. But the letter in my hands proves I'm not paranoid. You need to read this part again, I say, pointing to the middle paragraph. Ruby perches on a storage bin, squinting at our mother's handwriting. See, she knew Nancy was stealing from the foundation. She had proof. Jesus. Ruby runs a hand through her curls. But why didn't she just turn her in? I pace the concrete floor, my footsteps echoing. Because of what she found next. The transfers, the offshore accounts, the connections to people who… My voice catches. People who could make problems disappear. Like me. The car accident that supposedly killed me was meticulously planned. If I hadn't forgotten my phone at the office that night and gone back for it, I would have been in that car when it went over the guardrail. Ruby stands, her face pale in the basement's dim light. Kendra, this is bigger than inheritance fraud. If what your mom wrote is true, Nancy's involved in… I know. I press my palms against the cool cement wall, trying to ground myself. That's why I need your help. Nancy's engagement party is in 2 weeks. Everyone who's anyone in her world will be there, including the people she's working with. No. Ruby grabs my arm. Absolutely not. You can't just walk into a room full of people who think you're dead. I won't be me. I pull away and retrieve a shopping bag from behind the water heater. Inside is a short black wig, coloured contacts, and the kind of designer dress Nancy would approve of. I'll be Catherine Ross, distant cousin of Nancy's fiancé, in town specially for the engagement. This isn't some movie, Kendra. These people tried to kill you once already. My phone chimes. A secure message from Spencer, my unexpected ally inside Nancy's circle. My hands shake as I read it. Nancy's at the foundation office now, clearing out the old files. She's destroying evidence. Ruby reads over my shoulder. How do you know you can trust this Spencer guy? Because Nancy ruined his life too. I start gathering my things. He was engaged to her best friend until Nancy decided she wanted him instead. When he rejected her, she destroyed his reputation, his business, everything. He's been watching her ever since, waiting for a chance to expose her. And you're just going to walk into her office? Now? I check my watch. The cleaning crew arrives in 20 minutes. Nancy always leaves before they get there. She hates small talk with the help. I slip on the wig, adjusting it in a dusty mirror. I'll have 15 minutes to copy whatever files she hasn't shredded yet. Let me come with you. No. I grab Ruby's shoulders. I need you safe. If something goes wrong, you're the only one who knows I'm alive, the only one who can tell the truth. Ruby hugs me fiercely. Promise me you'll be careful. Promise me you'll keep the letter safe. I pull away, checking my reflection one last time. The stranger in the mirror looks confident, purposeful. Nothing like the sister Nancy thought she could erase. Outside, thunder rumbles, another storm rolling in off the lake. Fitting. Every major moment in this mess has happened in the rain. One more thing, I say at the basement door. If I'm not back in 2 hours, don't. Ruby's voice cracks. Don't you dare give me last instructions. I manage a smile. I was going to say order pizza, I'm starving. But as I drive toward the foundation office, my attempted lightness evaporates. The files aren't the only reason I'm going. According to Spencer's intel, Nancy keeps our mother's original will in her private safe. The will that names me as primary heir. The will she replaced with a forged version after our mother's death. Rain starts falling as I park in the deserted lot. Through the glass doors I can see light in Nancy's office. My sister, the perfect philanthropist, working late to honour her dead sister's memory. I touch the letter in my pocket, drawing strength from our mother's final words. Then I step out into the rain, ready to take the first real step toward reclaiming my life. Nancy thinks she buried her sister. She's about to learn that some things refuse to stay buried. The champagne tastes like ash in my mouth as I watch Nancy hold court across the ballroom. She's wearing our mother's sapphire necklace, the one I was supposed to inherit, and it catches the light every time she throws her head back, laughing. Another glass, Ms. Ross. A waiter appears at my elbow. Please. I accept the champagne, using the motion to scan the room again. Spencer should be here by now. Without him to make the introduction to Nancy's inner circle, I'm just another face in the crowd of her engagement party. The string quartet starts a new piece, something melancholy that makes my chest ache. Nancy and I used to play violin together before she decided competition was more interesting than harmony. That necklace is quite stunning, isn't it? I freeze. The voice behind me belongs to Ty, Nancy's head of security. I've never met him, but I've memorized his file. Ex-military, too observant for comfort, and absolutely loyal to my sister. I'm Catherine, I say, turning slowly. The bride's cousin-to-be. His eyes, a startling shade of green, study my face. Funny, I've reviewed the entire guest list, multiple times. Don't recall seeing your name. Before I can respond, Spencer finally appears. Catherine, there you are. He kisses my cheek, his lips barely brushing my skin. I see you've met our paranoid head of security. Ty, Catherine's my +1. Must have slipped through the paperwork. Ty's expression doesn't change. Everything's slipping through the paperwork lately. Oh, look, Spencer says smoothly. Nancy's waving us over. Come on, Catherine. He guides me away with a hand on my lower back. As soon as we're out of earshot, I whisper, Where the hell were you? Nancy's office. Found something you need to see. His fingers press into my spine. But first, we have to get through this introduction. Remember, you're my date, you work in art restoration, and you've never been to this city before. Nancy's laugh rings out again as we approach. She's surrounded by what Spencer calls her inner sanctum, the board members and business partners who either don't know or don't care where their investments really go. Spencer, darling. Nancy air kisses his cheeks. And who's this? Catherine Ross. I extend my hand, my heart thundering so loud I'm sure they can all hear it. I've heard so much about you. Nancy's grip is firm, her smile practiced. All good things, I hope. Of course. I force myself to hold her gaze, though I was sorry to hear about your sister. Such a tragedy. Something flickers in Nancy's eyes. Yes, well, Kendra always did drive too fast in the rain. My nails dig into my palm. She really believes that's all it takes. A few casual words to dismiss my existence, to erase our entire history. Speaking of tragedy, one of the board members says, have you dealt with that situation at the foundation? Nancy's smile tightens. Just a minor accounting irregularity. Nothing to concern ourselves with tonight. Minor? Another man joins the circle. Older, expensive watch, eyes like a shark. $20 million is minor now. The conversation drops to whispers. I lean closer, straining to hear, but Spencer suddenly pulls me onto the dance floor. Not now, he murmurs, leading me in a waltz. Ty's watching. But they were talking about the missing money, the money Mom found. Listen. Spencer spins me away from prying eyes. In Nancy's office, I found receipts, wire transfers, names, but also something else, a recording of your mother. My steps falter. What? She knew she was dying. She left evidence, Kendra. But it's not just about the money anymore. His voice drops lower. Your mother found out who Nancy's really working for, why they needed the foundation. It's... The music stops. Applause breaks out as Nancy takes the microphone, her fiancé beside her. Thank you all for coming tonight, she begins. As you know, these past months have been difficult, losing my dear sister. I pull away from Spencer. I need air. Outside on the terrace, the night air is thick with approaching rain. I grip the stone balustrade, fighting nausea. A recording. My mother's voice speaking truth from beyond the grave. Behind me, the door opens. Ms. Ross? I turn. Ty stands in the doorway, his expression unreadable. Interesting, he says softly. You have exactly the same scar on your wrist as Nancy's dead sister. Thunder rumbles overhead, and I realize I've made a terrible mistake. My heart pounds as Ty takes another step closer. The terrace feels smaller suddenly, the stone railing pressing against my back. Inside, Nancy's voice drones on about love and new beginnings. I can explain, I start, but Ty cuts me off. Don't. His voice is low, urgent. Security cameras cover this entire terrace. Look straight ahead and pretend we're having a casual conversation. I force myself to relax my posture, though my fingers tremble against the railing. Are you going to tell her? That depends. He leans on the railing beside me, his eyes on the garden below. Are you here to expose the Foundation's activities, or are you looking for something specific? The question catches me off guard. I don't understand. 3 weeks ago, someone accessed your mother's private files. 2 days later, you conveniently missed your appointment with death. His mouth barely moves as he speaks. I've been watching Nancy destroy evidence ever since, but she doesn't know about the hidden safe in Caroline's old office. My mother's name in his mouth makes me flinch. How do you... Because your mother hired me. Thunder rolls closer as Ty finally turns to face me. Not to protect Nancy, to protect you. Inside, applause erupts. Through the windows, I see Nancy raising a toast, her perfect smile never wavering. The sapphires at her throat gleam like captured stars. There's a USB drive, Ty continues. Caroline gave it to me the day before she died. Said if anything happened to either of her daughters, I should find a way to get it to you. Just you. Why didn't you come to me before? Because I needed to be sure you were ready, that you understood what you're really up against. He straightens his jacket. Nancy's not working alone. The Foundation is just a front for... The terrace door opens. Spencer steps out, his face tight with concern. Ty? Nancy's asking for you. Of course. Ty adjusts his tie. Ms. Ross was just feeling faint. Perhaps you should take her home. He leaves us in the gathering storm. Spencer grabs my arm. What did he say to you? Nothing. I pull away, my mind racing. We need to get into my mother's old office. Now, are you insane? Nancy's probably already suspicious. My mother hired him. The words come out in a rush. Before she died. She knew Spencer. She knew everything, and she was trying to protect me. Spencer runs a hand through his hair. This changes nothing. We stick to the plan, get the evidence from Nancy's office, then... No. The certainty in my voice surprises us both. We've been looking in the wrong place. Nancy's been destroying files because she knows that's where we'd look first. But Mom... My throat tightens. Mom was always 3 steps ahead. The first fat drops of rain hit the terrace. Spencer draws me under the awning. The office will be locked, alarmed. And even if we get in, I can get us in. I pull out my phone, fingers flying over the keyboard. Ruby's been tracking the cleaning crew's schedule. They're there now, which means the alarm is off and the side door is unlocked. Kendra, Spencer grabs my shoulders. Think about what you're risking. If we're caught, I'm already dead, remember? I shrug off his hands. Are you coming or not? 10 minutes later, we're climbing the back stairs of the Foundation building. The cleaning crew's voices echo from the main floor as we slip into the darkened executive wing. My mother's office still smells like her perfume. Or maybe that's just my imagination, like the way I sometimes hear her laugh in empty rooms. The furniture is gone, the walls bare, but I know every inch of this space. How many afternoons did I spend here doing homework while she worked? Here. I run my fingers along the wood paneling behind where her desk used to be. There's a seam. Yes. The panel clicks open, revealing a small wall safe. My hands shake as I input the combination. My birthday, Nancy's birthday, the day our father left. Inside is a single USB drive and a folded note in my mother's handwriting. My darling girl. If you're reading this, then you've finally learned to trust your instincts over your heart. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you everything, but some truths are too dangerous to speak aloud. What you'll find here will change everything. Be careful who you trust. Even those closest to you may not be what they seem. I clutch the note to my chest as Spencer peers over my shoulder at the safe's contents. Is that all? He asks, his voice oddly tight. Just a USB drive? No. I turn to face him, suddenly understanding my mother's last warning. It's a test, and you just failed it. Spencer's face shifts in the dim light, all pretense falling away. How long have you known? I didn't. My back presses against the wall panel. Not until just now, but Mom knew, didn't she? That's why you're really here. He takes a step closer. The cleaning crew's vacuum hums somewhere below. masking our voices. Your mother was paranoid at the end, seeing conspiracies everywhere. Was she? I clutched the USB drive tighter. Or did she figure out you were feeding information to Nancy all along? Give me the drive, Kendra. Another step. This is bigger than your family drama. People are counting on that money. People who don't take disappointment well. A floorboard creaks behind him. Spencer spins around just as Ty emerges from the shadows, gun trained steadily on Spencer's chest. That's far enough, Ty says quietly. Hands where I can see them. Spencer laughs, a hollow, ugly sound. Of course. Caroline's faithful watchdog right to the end. The police are already on their way. Ty's eyes flick to me. Ruby called them the moment you suggested coming here. My breath catches. Ruby knew. But before I can process this, Spencer moves, a blur of motion that ends with his own gun pressed against my temple. Back off, he snarls at Ty, or we'll find out if she can die twice. The cold metal against my skin focuses everything into crystal clarity. I see the desperation in Spencer's eyes, hear the slight tremor in his breathing. He's scared, and scared people make mistakes. They'll never let you keep it, Spencer hisses in my ear. The money, the foundation, it's all part of something you can't begin to understand. You're right. I force my voice to stay steady. I don't understand, just like I don't understand why you're still holding that gun backwards. He glances down reflexively. I drive my elbow into his solar plexus and twist away as Ty tackles him. The gun clatters across the floor as they grapple. I dive for the weapon, but footsteps in the hallway freeze me in place. The door bursts open, and Nancy stands in the threshold, her perfect composure finally cracked. What the hell is going on? She takes in the scene. Ty pinning Spencer down, the open wall safe, me holding a gun with shaking hands. Kendra? Hello, sister. My voice sounds distant to my own ears. Surprised to see me? But you're dead. I made sure. She clamps her mouth shut, but it's too late. You made sure? My laugh sounds hysterical even to me. Like you made sure Mum's real will disappeared? Like you made sure the Foundation's books were cooked? Police sirens wail in the distance. Nancy's eyes dart to the window, calculating. Always calculating. Whatever you think you know, she starts, but I cut her off. I know enough. I hold up the USB drive. Mum knew everything, Nancy. About the money laundering, the offshore accounts, all of it. She left proof. She left lies! Nancy's composure shatters completely. She was going to ruin everything we built, all those years of careful planning, the connections we made. She was going to throw it all away for some stupid moral high ground. We? I stare at my sister, this stranger wearing our mother's jewels. Who's we, Nancy? But before she can answer, more footsteps pound up the stairs. Nancy turns and runs. I start to follow, but Ty's voice stops me. Let her go. He has Spencer in handcuffs now. The police can handle her. Right now, we need to get you somewhere safe. Safe? I laugh again, the sound bordering on tears. I don't even know what that means anymore. My own sister tried to kill me. The man I thought was helping me was working against me. Ruby and you were apparently working together the whole time. Your mother trusted very few people at the end. Ty gently takes the gun from my hands, but she trusted you most of all. That's why she left you the key to everything. I look down at the USB drive, thinking of Mom's last note. Even those closest to you may not be what they seem. The police will want to question you, Ty continues. Are you ready for what that means? Once you start telling the truth, there's no going back. Outside, red and blue lights flash against the windows. I think of Nancy running into the night, of all the lies still unraveling, of the truth waiting on this tiny drive. Good, I say, straightening my spine, because I'm done hiding. The police station's fluorescent lights make everything look harsh and unreal. I've been here for 6 hours watching my words shatter everything my sister built. Detective after detective, question after question. My throat is raw from talking. Just one more thing. The latest detective, Paula, slides a photo across the table. Do you recognize this man? My heart stops. The grainy security camera image shows our family lawyer, Olivia, meeting with someone in a parking garage. Even in the poor quality photo, I recognized Ty. When was this taken? 3 days before your mother's death. Paula watches my face carefully. Ms. Anderson had just filed changes to your mother's will, changes that never made it to official records. The room tilts slightly. Are you saying Olivia was involved? We're saying nothing is what it seems. Paula leans forward. Your mother's original will, the one naming you primary heir, it was witnessed by Ty McGregor. My fingers trace the edge of the photo. He said Mom hired him to protect me. Did he mention he was also on Nancy's payroll for the past 5 years? The door opens before I can respond. Ruby rushes in, ignoring Paula's protest. They found Nancy. I stand so fast my chair scrapes across the floor. Where? Private airstrip outside the city, but Kendra. Ruby grabs my hands. She's not alone. Ty's with her. The fluorescent lights buzz louder, or maybe that's just the blood rushing in my ears. I don't understand. Paula pulls out another photo. This one shows Ty and Nancy together, taken just hours ago. They're arguing about something, Nancy jabbing her finger at a laptop screen. The same laptop I'd seen in my mother's office. Your mother's recording, I whisper. The USB drive. Was exactly what they wanted you to find. Paula's voice is gentle. They needed you to surface, to make yourself a target. The evidence on that drive. It implicates everyone except the real players. Including me. Ruby's voice cracks. I'm so sorry, Kendra. They threatened my family, said they'd hurt my sister if I didn't help them track you. I pull my hands away from hers. All those times you helped me hide. You were reporting back to them. Not everything. Tears spill down Ruby's cheeks. I swear. Once I realized what they were really planning, I called the police. That's why they're running now. Paula slides one final photo across the table. This one makes my knees buckle. It's my mother, alive, sitting in what looks like a hospital room. The timestamp shows it was taken yesterday. That's impossible. My voice sounds strange to my own ears. I watched her die. I was there when... You were there when they wanted you to be. Paula stands. Your mother discovered something they couldn't risk getting out. Something bigger than money laundering or fraud. They needed her contained, controlled. And they needed you and Nancy exactly where you are now, distracted by fighting each other while they finish their endgame. Where is she? The question comes out as a demand. We believe she's being moved tonight, the same airstrip where Nancy and Ty are headed. I look at Ruby, really look at her. Why tell me now? Because in 40 minutes, that plane leaves with your mother, your sister, and any chance of learning the truth. Ruby pulls out a keycard. This will get us into the airstrip's private terminal, but we have to go now. Paula steps between us. Ms. Emerson, if you leave this room, we can't protect you. Let us handle this. But I'm already moving toward the door, Ruby right behind me, because Paula doesn't understand. This stopped being about protection the moment I saw that photo. My mother is alive. Everything else, the inheritance, Nancy's betrayal, even my own fake death, was just an elaborate distraction from that central truth. They'll be expecting you, Paula calls after me. I pause in the doorway thinking of all the lies, all the manipulations, thinking of my mother, alone in that hospital room, playing her own part in this twisted game. Good, I say, and this time my voice is steel, because I'm done being the person they expect me to be. It's time they met the person they created. Ruby hands me her car keys. Outside, thunder rumbles. Another storm rolling in. Of course, it always comes back to rain. Ready? Ruby asks. I think of Nancy and Ty waiting at that airstrip, thinking they know exactly how this will play out. They have no idea what's coming. Rain drums on the private terminal's metal roof as Ruby and I crouch behind a stack of cargo containers. Through the hangar's open doors, I can see the sleek private jet, its engines already humming. Two armed guards patrol the perimeter while Ty paces near the stairs, checking his phone. Nancy's car just pulled in, Ruby whispers, peering through the gap between containers. Black SUV, tinted windows. How many inside? Driver plus 2 passengers. She squeezes my hand. Kendra, if your mom's really in that car, then everything we thought we knew was wrong. I check the keycard in my pocket. You remember the plan? Ruby nods, but her eyes are worried. It's not too late to wait for the police. Yes, it is. I watch the SUV park beside the jet. They've had my mother for months. I'm not giving them another minute. The SUV's back door opens. Nancy steps out first, elegant even in the rain. She's still wearing our mother's sapphires, still playing the grieving sister. Another figure follows. A woman in a wheelchair, covered by a blanket. My heart stops. Even from here, I recognize the slope of her shoulders, the way she holds her head. Mom. Now, I whisper to Ruby. She slips away toward the terminal's main entrance while I edge closer to the hangar, using the rain and darkness for cover. I'm 20 feet away when I hear Nancy's voice sharp with anger. This wasn't the deal. You said once we had the drive. Plans change. Ty cuts her off. Your sister's involvement complicated things. Now move. My sister is dead. Your sister, I say, stepping into the light, is right here. Everyone freezes. The guards raise their weapons, but Ty waves them down, his face unreadable. Nancy's composure cracks for just a second, shock, fear, something else I can't name flickering across her features. But I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at my mother, who slowly raises her head to meet my eyes. Hello, darling, she says softly. Mom. My voice breaks on the word. I don't understand. Why did you... Because she had no choice. Ty moves between us, gun drawn. Just like you have no choice now. The drive, Kendra, where is it? Thunder crashes overhead. Through the rain, I see Ruby's signal, a brief flash of light from the terminal roof. Everything's in place. You want the drive? I reach into my pocket. Here. I toss it toward him. As he moves to catch it, I dive forward, tackling Nancy. We hit the wet concrete hard. The sapphire necklace snaps, scattering blue stones like tears. Gunshots crack, but they're coming from behind us. The police snipers Ruby helped position right on schedule. The guards drop their weapons. No! Ty turns his gun toward my mother, but she's already moving. The blanket falls away as she stands, no wheelchair needed, and drives her elbow into his throat. That's for using my daughters against each other, she snarls. Nancy struggles beneath me. You don't understand. I had to play along. They threatened... I know. I pin her arms. They threatened everyone. That's how they work. But you had a choice, Nancy. You could have trusted me. Like Mom trusted us. She stops fighting, her laugh bitter. She let us think she was dead. Let us tear each other apart. To protect you. Mom's voice is steel. Both of you. I needed you to expose their operation without them realizing I was feeding information to the FBI. Every move, every manipulation, it was all to keep you safe while we dismantled their network. Police flood the hangar. Through the chaos, I help Nancy up. She won't meet my eyes. The sapphires, she says quietly. They weren't just jewelry, were they? Mom shakes her head. Storage devices containing everything we need to bring them down. Why do you think I was so insistent they stay in the family? Rain streams down my face as I look between them. My sister, my mother, all our shared lies and secrets laid bare. What happens now? I ask. Mom pulls us both close like she did when we were small and frightened of storms. Now, she says, we tell the truth. All of it. Together. Behind us, the jet's engines wind down as police led Ty away in handcuffs. Dawn breaks through the clouds, painting the rain gold. It feels like a beginning. The morning sun streams through my mother's office windows, turning the dust motes to gold. We've been here for hours, piecing together the fragments of truth scattered across years of deception. My fingers trace the smooth wood of her desk. The real one, not the decoy that held so many false clues. The foundation was never just about money laundering. Nancy's voice is hoarse from talking. She hasn't slept. None of us have, but she keeps going. They used our charitable projects to move people, information, weapons. And I gave them the perfect cover. Mom sorts through files with steady hands. The grieving widow, throwing herself into philanthropy. They never suspected I was documenting everything. I watched them work together, these two women who shaped my life with their lies. The anger isn't gone, but it's different now. A dull ache instead of a burning rage. Why didn't you trust us from the beginning? I ask Mom. We could have helped. She looks up, her eyes tired but clear. Because I needed your reactions to be genuine. They were watching everything, analyzing every move. If you'd known I was alive, if you'd been acting, she shakes her head, they would have known. So, you let me think Nancy tried to kill me. I let you think what you needed to think to stay alive. Mom's voice cracks. Every time you almost discovered the truth too soon, every time you came close to exposing yourself, those were the hardest moments of my life. Nancy stands abruptly, pacing to the window. You still haven't told us everything. The sapphires, the USB drive, Spencer's betrayal. It's all connected to something bigger, isn't it? The silence stretches. Outside, a siren wails in the distance. Mom, I press. She opens her desk drawer, removes a final file. What do you know about your father's death? The question hits like a physical blow. Nancy turns from the window. Dad died in a car accident, 12 years ago. No. Mom's hands are steady as she opens the file. Your father was murdered because he discovered what the foundation was really funding. Pictures spill across the desk. Dad with people I don't recognize. Documents in languages I can't read. Coordinates marked on maps. Human trafficking, Mum continues. But not just any humans. Scientists, researchers, people with very specific knowledge. Your father traced it back to a project so classified its name was only mentioned in whispers. Project Aurora, I whisper, remembering a phrase from the USB drive. Yes, Mom's eyes meet mine. And now you understand why I had to die, why I had to let them think they'd won. Because I needed to finish what your father started. Nancy sinks into a chair. All this time is over. I stand, gathering the scattered photos. We have everything now, the evidence, the names, the money trails. It ends today. Kendra. Mom reaches for my hand. There will be consequences. People will come after us. Let them. I squeeze her fingers. We're done hiding. Done playing their games. Done letting them tear our family apart. They'll try to discredit us, Nancy says. Turn us against each other again. They can try. I look between them. My sister, my mother, our shared wounds finally healing in the light of truth. But they don't understand what they created when they forced us to become different people. When they made me learn to die, made Nancy learn to deceive, made Mom learn to disappear. And what's that? Mom asks softly. Something stronger than their lies. I pick up the sapphire necklace, now repaired and containing the last pieces of evidence we need. Something they never planned for. Us? Nancy finishes. Together. Mom stands, straightening her shoulders. Then let's finish this. For your father, for the truth, for everything they tried to take from us. I fasten the sapphires around my neck, feeling their weight, the weight of secrets, of justice, of family finally reunited. Outside, the city wakes to a new day, unaware that everything is about to change. Ready? I ask. They stand beside me, 3 women forged in the fire of necessary lies, emerging stronger than the truth they protected. We step into the sunlight together, no longer hiding in shadows. Let them come. We're done playing dead.